welcome to the show.
No, I missed it.
I need to trim
so
down
hyped.
the start and end, but I do like the hype, so I thought I'd do that one this week.
So is the call for papers for USA seriously open?
That was from before.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I need to
Because I
trim
was
off
like,
the start and
shoot, I
end.
need to come up with a speech to submit. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I need to trim off the start and end. That's why I haven't been using it, but I'm we'll get.
It should be soon, though. I would think.
Yes, soon.
Yeah.
Keep watching the space, as they say.
Yep.
Coming soon. Soon, TM.
Exactly.
I'm excited. I've already started my list of topics. I haven't.
Ooh. I won't ask you to reveal, but I am curious. I'm curious.
It's an uncurated list at this point. I just keep a notebook by me, and anytime I have like a random thought or a random struggle or a random anything, I write it down. And then as we move towards actually like making those CFPs a reality, I kind of narrow it down and see what's interesting.
Very cool. Well, that is definitely a list I would like to keep tabs on. No, that's fine. Sorry. Cool. Yeah, I love FlutterCon so much. Like, I've been looking forward to FlutterCon since the moment that Berlin ended. So I'm looking forward to it.
I need to start planning my American trip. There's places to book to do.
I assume we're all going to Disneyland or Disney World on Saturday, right? That's already a predetermined.
I need to organize. That's what we need to do.
I'm in. I've
I'm
already
also going
started
to
planning my
I've never been
Berlin
to Universal.
trip. So.
Sorry, saying.
No, I just said I've already started planning my Berlin trip. So my partner's coming with me this year, so I'm excited about that.
Nice.
So you've been to Universal?
Yeah, Universal would be another nice place to visit.
Yeah, and they've got some new parks too. So then relatively.
Universal's got the new Nintendo World.
Nintendo World. I've been to Disney World, but not since I was 9. And
oh man,
I'm approaching 50 at this point. So
do you want to go back, and would that spoil your memories of it when you were 9? That's the question.
Yeah.
It's like watching an old TV show from when you were a kid. You look at it now and go, "What the hell is this?"
I liked watching these.
Really, how are you approaching 50? There's no way. I'm sorry.
My birthday is in a couple weeks, and I will be 48. So I still got 2 more years to go. But yeah.
My brain refuses to accept that. No. So Disney. I've been to. We got season passes in 2019, and I got such an infusion of Disney magic that year. It was kind of insane. Like, we were like, we have to make maximum use of these passes. And so I've been to Universal once. We spent our honeymoon at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And I gotta say, like, it was pretty great. Like, I loved it. We spent a week at Universal, and I haven't been back since they've added like a whole bunch of stuff. And I've definitely not seen the new park, so I'd love to see it. And yeah, I'm a theme park nerd, so we'll just leave it there, because I could spend the rest of this time talking about like theme park nerdism. Like, I can identify roller coasters, who manufactured them, by the track design. It's like a whole thing that I have went down. So we'll just stop there.
Sounds like Matthew needs a new job as like designing the Phineas and Ferb park.
Okay,
if someone offered me that job right now, John, I would say yes and not even ask what the compensation was. Like, honestly, if someone offered me that, I'd be like, done. Where do I sign? When do I start?
Yeah.
Whatever you need. I only need 104 days.
What do they call it? Imagineers, right? The people that do the rides.
Yeah, Disney. Yeah.
So if you had a Flutter developer that was also an Imagineer, would that be a Fluttereer or something? Can you mix those two words?
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Well, at Matthew's theme park, it would be an Imaginator.
An Imaginator. Ooh. Okay, actually, I need to write that down, because an Imaginator is like a thing that I could invent to give me ideas for more things to invent. Like, I think that's actually a really good idea. Like, okay, we're going to start the video. I'm going to spin the Imaginator, and we're going to see what comes up, and I have to build something with that. But yeah.
Right, before we get too deep into our nattering, yeah, let's do some brief introductions and we'll see where we go. So my name's Simon Lightfoot, Flutter Community Leader, CTO at Dev Angels London, and you can find me at Dev Angels London. Randall is not with us today, neither is Danielle, but John, you're here.
I am here. I am the Flutter Community Medium owner. I am ex-Microsoft engineer at this point. And yeah, I hang out in Discord and places answering questions for folks in the Flutter Discord and other places. Been doing this for a while, as Simon and I just discovered. My 8-year anniversary in Slack popped up, so been on the Flutter Slack for 8 years at this point. But I'll turn it over to Matthew.
Yeah, hey guys, my name is Matthew. I am a senior mobile developer at a bank, and I literally cannot say anything more about my job than that. But none of that's relevant, because the real thing that I'm passionate about is my YouTube channel. Look me up at Makerinator. I create weird inventions out of Flutter and out of like Arduinos and Raspberry Pis and e-ink displays, all kinds of stuff like that. And I make videos about it and post them over there. So I am deep in the middle of another project. I'm hoping to have it out within the next month or so.
Nice.
That leaves me. I'm Kaylee. I am the CEO of Checks on Me, where we do Flutter on the front and Serverpod Dart on the back end. And more importantly, I'm a Flutterista. It is we're a club, an organization, an association of syndicate. That's what we are. We're a syndicate. women and non-binary Flutter enthusiasts. And if you fall into one of those categories, hit us up.
Honestly, Flutter Syndicate sounds like an amazing name for a meetup group. You know, everyone has to wear a suit. Everyone has to, that would be incredible.
Yeah. You know, when you register for a business, like file your articles of incorporation and do all that stuff, you have to like choose your suffix. Most people choose like Inc., or something like that. But syndicate is an option. we considered it. We did consider it. But...
I might have to do that, as I'm doing that work shortly here. So syndicate sounds good. Yeah.
Honestly, I should probably, if the YouTube channel ever makes money, I should probably do something similar. And honestly, Makerinator Syndicate sounds incredible. Yeah. You
can rule the tri-state area.
Heck yeah.
We're going to start off with a whole new set of syndicates now, right? We're going to syndicate wars, quite for real, right?
The show that launched at least 3 syndicates. Like that's what this is now.
Briefly, John, do you mind just going over some?
Yeah. Well, so be nice, be respectful, be constructive with your comments. We do monitor those. Don't post anything that you shouldn't. No adult content, all that fun stuff. Don't advertise anything. If you're not on the stream live, you don't get to advertise. We will monitor all that, and we do have connections with all the other Flutter groups that do stuff, and we'll ban you from those places as well. So just be good, be nice, have a good time. That's what we're here for. Ask us questions, lots of questions.
Yes. If you want to ask a question, make sure you put a Q in front of it, and we'll get that on the show. Someone just has.
And don't repost questions. We've gotten really good about that. People have gotten better, but don't repost your question. If you do, that just moves you to the bottom of the list, because we'll grab the question, put it at the list, and then if we see it already in there, we'll remove it. So it just makes it take longer for us to get to you. And if you're going to share code or just links in general, don't share links. They will not show up for anybody except you. It'll look like it went through, but nobody will see it. So if you do want to share some code with us to take a look at, either as part of a question, or if we want to do some live coding based on some code you have, you can do it by following these steps. Just go over to just.new, put in a good title, make sure that the file name ends in Dart, so we get formatting and all that fun stuff when we look at it. Paste your code in and then publish it, and then go to that URL in your browser there and grab the hash code only at the end of the URL and paste that into the link, into the chat, and then we can use that to get to your code.
Yeah. So if you post a message with any links in, the whole message doesn't come through to us. Not just the link, the whole message.
Right.
So you cannot post links in any of the messages. If you want to post us some code, use this, and all you need to do is fill out the, as John was saying, fill out the gist and copy the hash from the resulting URL at the end and pop that into your message, and we can get up the code.
Yep.
That's enough for the usual suspects now.
Yeah.
Has anyone actually? I've been so busy this past week. I couldn't make last week, and I haven't really seen any big Flutter news as such. I know there was a couple of new releases that took place recently, but they're all minor releases.
Yeah. No, nothing major.
I've been mostly elbows deep in ServerPod lately. The hackathon deadline is coming up here in like 9 days, I think, will be the deadline to submit if you are participating. There is quite a big prize at the end. So yeah, but everybody else has been working on it for several weeks now, so I don't know how much 9 days will be.
I'm so excited because the next thing I'm working on is using my general recipe that I talked about at the last FlutterCon, which is Flame Engine Flutter running embedded on a Raspberry Pi using FlutterPy. But I also want to run an AI model locally. And the problem is that trying to run a local model on a Pi while you've got all the rest of that running is like a losing battle. Like you really need a Pi just for the local model. Well, the Raspberry Pi Foundation just released this bad boy. So this is, yeah, I know. It's like, ta-da. This is the Raspberry Pi AI Hat 2. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM on it, so you can load a fairly small size model on it that'll do what I need it to do for an LLM. It's powered by the same technology that powers the Halo 10, and it's just a hat that you drop on the Pi, and it's an AI coprocessor. So what happens is the LLM runs on this thing, but the rest of your Pi is then free to do whatever else you need. So you make your LLM request, runs on this. The Pi is still free to run my Flame animations and all that good stuff. So I'm super excited about that. And one of the things it's doing is powering this bad boy. So e-ink is such a fun technology, guys. Like if you haven't messed around with e-ink, you absolutely 100% should. Look how thin this display is. Like, holy smokes, look how lightweight it is. I feel like I'm going to break it if I shake it too hard in my hands. So that is what I have been up to.
Did you look at my repo about e-ink and what I did with Flutter and Dart and e-ink?
I did. Actually, you're kind of the inspiration for this because you did a whole Flutter e-ink deep dive a long time ago. So
I think it's on YouTube really somewhere.
Cool.
Probably.
I found the repo. I know that, but I don't know if I ever watched the YouTube video. I'll have to see if I can find it.
It was on. It was what was the Geekly Summit? Geek. It was it was called Geekly Summit or something like that, wasn't it? Like Flutter.
Oh,
Global Summit by Geekly. Or something.
Yeah, something. It was hosted on Geekly. Yeah.
But did they upload them to? I'm kind of curious now. See if I can find it. Well, I found my Twitter post in the search result after I typed it in. So, that on. No, it's got to be around it somewhere. I may one of those things where you kind of have to. I may have to upload these things to get permission. Make a website just uploads all the stuff I've done.
Simon's the vault, the Lightfoot vault, you can call it. It's like the vault of Simon's knowledge that he shared with the world. And it's just this whole website of you could have a Flutter web app that there could be codes hidden all over, and you click it and it unlocks an exclusive lecture from Simon about something,
God.
The Syndicate, yeah.
Simon Syndicate. Or like, we could create AI Simon that like gives like truth based upon like a little fortune after we like ram all these hump days through like a training model. And it could be like, the true state management was inside of you all along,
Well, I've posted the wait a minute, video link. I have a video link.
Yay.
I will post it in the chat if anyone's interested. There you go.
Didn't they use ink on the badges for like Flutter and Friends this year, or one of those?
There was one they were talking, because I think who was it? Somebody had been working on stuff. Yeah.
So they had like so the Flutter and Friends badges were basically, a lot of shops now put e-ink displays against each of for hosting the prices, because they can essentially use NFC and the power of the handheld device to reprogram each of the things. So to actually replace the prices can just be tap, 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 and you're done, because it knows what the price should be based on the NFC. So it knows what the product should be based on the NFC, and therefore it can reprogram the display with the new prices. It's very common here now. And I believe those badges were just the same technology, basically.
They were, yeah. I bought one at FlutterCon Berlin from Lucas, and it's basically the same technology, yeah. And it's cool. Like I love playing around and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what it is.
My aim. I've still got a box under here. There's still a box of parts for flexible display and a bunch of other ink displays for doing a conference badge. I still want to do a Flutter powered conference badge. The get the price right, it's going to need to run on not on ARM but on
RISC
V. So there's some challenges around that the community is working on, but I've not been able to spend any time on recently. So see what we get. You watch John was asking what ink display are you using and what was the refresh rate.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to
Simon?
I don't know who is just he just said it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think he's talking about
if you're asking about my stuff, I honestly couldn't tell you because it was a long time ago. The best thing I could say is look at the slides and watch the video. You actually see it operational as well in there. So
I can give you a link to mine real quick. I can't post links because I'm not an admin, but I will drop it in the private chat and then we can repost it. Yeah. It is from Waveshare, and I will tell you, be careful like when you do like the sample code, because they have two models. One is the color display and one is the black and white display. And if you use the sample code for the wrong one, and they're one letter apart in the model number, you're going to have a bad time. Ask me how I know. I totally didn't lose an entire day like trying to get a baseline of why is the sample code not compiling, and it turns out that I was trying to do the color one. All right, I just dropped the link in the private chat.
I'll pop it into the my display was a Waveshare one as well. They're a common provider of them.
Yeah. One other interesting fun thing that I had is that the wiki for using it is completely in English, but there's some software that you have to use for like the custom fonts. So like this is not the font that came with it. I used a custom font, and then like the borders here are just like an image that I designed in Canva. So they have like beautiful English instructions, but the screenshots are all the Chinese version of the apps, and they don't say what's in the screenshots. They just have like arrows pointing to stuff. So like I was like taking these screenshots and ramming them through Gemini and say, please translate this so I can figure it out. And I had like a whole like afternoon adventure where like I just had garbage on the screen because I couldn't figure it out. This is all going in the video eventually, guys. This is part of a much bigger project. But yeah, it's getting these things working has been an adventure, but it's been a fun one. So
I'm just going back and looking at my 4-year-old code and just shocked. This was like the type of code that I'm like, I need to get this thing out and working for my, for the tool, because it's like hammer it together.
5 minutes before you went on stage.
Every line was a nail. But I think that actually it turned out pretty well. Actually, sorry, I'm just like, I mean, we can talk about anything right now. We're waiting for questions to come in. Get your question in with the queue in front, and then we'll start on those. Have you guys? Has anyone here actually, apart from me and two other people, John, Katie, have you ever played around with hardware or anything like this before?
Yeah, I have.
Not like this. Different. I'm currently working on a project with PayDroid, which runs on specialized hardware, but I'm not actually doing much with the hardware myself. So sort of. Yeah.
If I can get this. Yeah. So the way I was kind of doing the software was just like, you know, making it very modular, so you can like choose a display and the interface for that display, like load an asset, clear frame, display frame. So giving it some semblance of reusability rather than just like, here is, you know, all the magic. I think it happens to the fonts you were just talking about, by the way, Matthew. I think I ended up hard coding them in here. Fonts. There you go.
That, oh my God. Yeah, that is very similar
fonts.
to what I ended up doing.
There we go. So 16, 20, and 24. So these are what you call bitmap fonts. So this is literally how you define graphics. Like literally every bitmap font in Windows and Mac and Linux and everything else is essentially the same thing. There's the number 5. This is a comment, and inside here, the ones and zeros that make up the numeric values end up being like 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, right? So 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, basically. So the 18 here is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, whatever it is for the first part, right? So essentially, each block of fixed number of bytes represents a bitmap image, black and white bitmap image of the character, and they're in a specific order, which is normally the ASCII order, which lets you look them up based on the input, and then you can draw those bits to your screen, and aka you now have fonts on the screen. This is the cheapest way and most terrible way of drawing of fonts.
I'm having PTSD flashbacks from high school when we had to take a typing class and make these like ASCII things.
But yeah, I think this is quite fun, just doing like a little essentially rendering library, so that you could render on these displays and then write out the data to the displays and all the rest of it that goes along with it. But it's here if anyone wants to use it. This is before the days of LLM. So
it's so funny, Simon. The thing that you were showing earlier of like the fonts and the hex codes, I have spent the last like several days of my life just staring at that till I was cross-eyed. And like the software, that's literally what the problem was. The software I was trying to use was like, it was in English, but like the instructions were in Chinese. So let me tell you what I ended up doing, because I never was able to get the software to work. I had an LLM write a Python script to generate... No, this is what worked, man. This is what worked. I had the LLM write a Python script that then interpreted the font for me and then generated those hex codes. And then I just copied the hex codes out and like put them in, and that's what I finally got working. But yeah, it's a fun adventure.
So yeah, someone was just asking, are they generative or handwritten? There's actually standard libraries of bitmap fonts that you can get that are licensed in different ways. These ones were the open fonts from STM32, one of the LCD drivers. The copyright is at the top in the source code. But yeah, there's a whole ton of them over the years like that, you know, that have been made. I mean, it all varies, but you can make them yourself.
Wait, back up, Simon. You're telling me that I could have just like grabbed someone who already did this for me, and I didn't have to manually make Courier Prime into like the bitmap hex code thing? Like I could have found someone else who did this.
That's not what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
Like, I have two reactions to that. Like, one is I'm so upset at the amount of time I wasted. The other part is I'm happy because I actually learned a whole bunch about how fonts work along the way. So, like,
oh yeah,
that's the silver lining. But like, the downside is I have beat my head against this, and like, of course, someone's already done it. Oh wow.
Text rendering and fonts is a super interesting area of computing. I'd recommend it for anyone if they're interested in like graphics and how things are rendered. For sure. Anyway, there was actually what's the chaos? Is it CC Chaos Computer Club? 2026, 2025. Yeah,
well, that's a missed opportunity. They should be Chaos Computer Syndicate.
Yeah.
So the Chaos Computer Club is a, for anyone that doesn't know, is a conference that takes place, I think it's every year, and they name their conferences based on hexadecimal, because why not? Let me bring it up on screen here. Yeah. So this is so ccc.e. They're based in Germany, and every year they post up all their videos on YouTube for anyone to watch. I was watching a few of these. Well, I could. They've posted so many recently. I have no idea which one it was now. But actually, do you know what I could do? I could probably search for it, couldn't I? There's one like hacking washing machines, like reverse engineering the washing machines and hacking the firmware and making them like monitoring them, do whatever you want with them, basically. And it's like, these are the kind of like crazy things, right? That people can do.
Oh my God, hacking washing machines sounds like the best thing ever. Like, honestly, like there's a video title there, "Coming Clean as a Washing Machine Hacker." Like that is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But it is actually like it is actually super interesting, like kind of like just how you interface with one. Apparently the lights, if I can find the picture, the lights at the front of the washing machine can actually be used to interface with the actual washing machine. There's a hidden light interface. Yeah. There's a bunch of so the engineer would come along and stick something on the front, and he uses the flashing LEDs to do binary data transfer.
Huh.
And then they work out. They basically reverse engineer the protocol and work it all out. Anyway, this kind of came off the fact. This came off the fact of something else we were talking about, and there's a video on it. And the fonts. That was it. There's an interesting one about fonts and text text rendering. The art of text rendering. That was it. I'll post this in the chat if anyone's interested. I'll put this in the internal chat as well for you guys if you want to grab it. But it was super interesting and highly recommend.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. This sounds like a conference I might want to show up to at some point. Like that, anytime someone takes something and makes it do another thing, like I'm all about that. I saw a guy on YouTube who made like a top that spins indefinitely. I don't know if you guys saw this pop up in your algorithm yet. It's on Hackaday, but it's like this top that once you spin it, it has like a bunch of electronics in it and like a bunch of stuff that causes it to keep spinning.
To offset it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, but I can imagine they've done it as, what was the Inception, where if it stays spinning, you're in the dream world, right? I can imagine that's where
I don't have it in the studio here with me, but I actually have that exact top. You can get it for like $1 on AliExpress. So
I mean, it's great fun chatting, but have we had any questions?
There's one, yeah.
There was one. Let's get to that one, and then we'll crack on with some more.
Yeah. So ML is asking that they got a ITMS from Apple, saying the SDK version needs to be updated. They need to build against iOS 26 SDK after April 1st of 2026. How can I find the minimum Flutter version that supports that?
Good question. I know 26 was upgraded and it would be in the release notes. On iOS 26, I mean, there's lots of plenty of stuff that talks about iOS 26 in the release notes. I don't know if there was an ad. There was one of the. I think one of the announcements specifically said it now supporting iOS 26, right? So there's a Medium blog, and by the way, just to let everyone know, none of us work for Google. I'll just say that out front. So we know as much as you do in that respect. When they release their when they do their release notes, they do come out and say, you know, what they're now supporting. I don't know if there's actually been a. Oh, there we go. So 335. Let me bring this up on the stream. Why not? Share. So it's apparently they changed it. It's blog.flutter.dev now. Apparently links to their Medium blog, and in 335 in their release notes in here. If I can find iOS. What was it? There you go. iOS 26 and Xcode 26 beta compatibility. So I would suggest that would be a minimum. I don't know if there's much more to add to that than that at the moment. I don't know if there's actually a official support page. Supported deployment platforms. Apparently there is. I guess it's just always going to be talking about. Let me bring this up on the stream. I'll put this in the chat as well, in the public chat there. Yeah. So as of 338.6, it supports deployment on the following combination of hardware and architectures. Yeah, x64 ARM, ARM32 on Android. What levels? iOS 13 to 26. So I guess officially 338.6 would be what I go with. I mean, if you want to go earlier, I mean, again, just keep going backwards, I guess. There's no history to this, I don't think. Hang on. No. Which seems the flaw, I guess, because you would like to see this over time, right? Maybe this is something that's in the repos somewhere. I mean, this is in GitHub. I don't know if the data's in there. Oh, it is. There is a page, but they've recently been rebuilding the website, so I don't think. So I'm just going to see if there's a bit of a history on here. I suppose you can, yeah. Let me bring this up on stream just to show people what I'm doing here. So I clicked on the view source link, which takes me to this markdown page in the Git. Now, you don't see the versions on here. This is because they're special tags that GitHub doesn't know how to process. So you look at the code, you'll see that here there's special tags that are used and pre-processed by the static site generator. And here's those versions that we're just looking at. So iOS 13 to 26. And then over here, you've got a history of this file. You can see when things were changed. So we could go back to, let's say, May 2025 and see what was in there at that time. See what official support, I guess it had mentioned at the time. You know, I'm looking at the old one or the new one. Anyway, I guess you can work it out for yourselves. Oh, look, there you go. Admin. Target min, iOS 12. That's the minimum. App now, iOS 17. So there hasn't been that many. I mean, I guess that's the target app now. Stuff with current versions. That was May last year. We haven't had that many versions. Let's go to this one to see. That was an old one, wasn't it? I clicked on the wrong thing. I'm going to click on that. Anyway, I'll let you guys have a play around and find it, but yeah.
So I actually have a couple things. First of all, I want to call out Lane put in chat. Can we have a future hump day where we hack a washing machine? And Simon, I think this is a fantastic idea. I think we should try to hack Simon's washing machine on a future hump day, like as a group project, make it play like a different tune or something when the wash is done. I don't know. Like,
so those guys that were doing it actually were trying to get their washing machines to play different tunes and things like that as part of their thing. It's actually really quite interesting. Like they explored it all and actually worked out that there's a whole protocol of all the components inside used to communicate and how they read sensors and everything else. So yeah.
I'm going to reveal my elder millennial here. I want my washing machine when it's done to play "Ain't Nobody Fresh as I Am," ain't so fresh, so clean. So,
Yeah.
I also. Am I getting kicked out again? Is that I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I get kicked out at least once every episode. And then that brings me to like my second thing, which is Matthew's banned. Matthew's banned. So on a somewhat like more serious note, have any of you, and I'm thinking about this for like a future YouTube channel project that I'm working on, have any of you messed around with Web3 Dart or done any work with Flutter interacting with the blockchain?
Yes.
Cool. Can you share your experience? Like anything gotchas, like, lessons learned, anything? I'm just now beginning to like research and go down this path, and I'm learning about writing smart contracts and stuff. I'm thinking about starting a Nadercoin, it's not all the value of a collectible paper plate, but it's out there. I don't know.
I mean, yes.
Understood. I also sometimes have to answer yes and just stop. So I get it.
I mean, you're asking something. What do you want to know? Like, I mean, we can definitely talk about it, but I don't know if now's the right time. But yeah.
So I guess my first question
in effect, the crypto is just the smallest part of it, right? Like a lot of it is about protocol and who you're talking to and how you're working. Like you can be working against a particular node. So a lot of nodes have deployments, and then you can work your code against a node, and that node works within the blockchain's system, right? So you don't have to consider you're not working against the blockchain directly, right?
That was my first question. That was my first question. Is like, is like generally, are you working through a backend API that then connects to the blockchain? Are you connecting directly and like writing
network,
stuff?
right? So it's all about the different networks. They've all got their own separate way of doing things.
Got it.
But the difference here is that they may have a different way of doing things, but the way that it's done, the principles are all the same, right?
Got it.
So
cool.
So you can have, and then you can have people set up smart contracts so that they can cross between networks and chains and so on and so forth. So that's how you can then say invent your own coin and then have it transferred and used on another blockchain, on another network. Sorry.
Gotcha. I think it'd be great if like my washing machine would have a smart contract that it could write like every wash cycle to, and then that way that would be like a permanent part of history. Is like everyone could see when my wash completed.
So you got proof to your wife that you did the washing.
Yes, exactly. Precisely. And the folded laundry is not enough. No. I can go on the blockchain and say, see, I did the laundry on this date, this date, and this date. It was written to the chain. It was written automatically. Yeah.
She's gonna ban. Yeah, forget us banning you. She's gonna ban you.
Yeah.
And then half the world has to agree with your blockchain, of course. You know, so like, it's okay. Look, I've got half the world agree with me.
Right. Yeah.
Half the world agrees that I did the laundry. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till I upgrade it for dishes. That's gonna be like it.
Oh.
Wow.
Is there anything that anyone wants to see for coding today? We could do something like that.
Yeah, we should just jump into some live coding. What do we have? We have a list going. Don't we have something
today? Actually, I have to say, or we just really loud. One of the two.
Yeah. Do we have anything in our list that we didn't get to yet?
That's a good point.
I know we've got some stuff we've talked about in the past.
Oh, you were talking about. Sorry, before I forget, we mentioned. You mentioned running the LLM locally, Matthew.
Yes.
Did you see AMD's announcement on their new local LLM machine?
I did not.
It's like a what the iOS desktop, what are they called? Mac
MacBook?
Mini, like a Mac Mini style
Mac
box.
Mini. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it has all the AMD goodness all built in, but they've highly integrated the system. So the APU, NPU, GPU, and CPU can all access the same block of memory, the same however many gigabytes it is.
Okay, yeah.
So there's no sort of like transfer of memory to and from different places, obviously, because it's highly integrated. It means that you can load the model up and then it can take advantage of everything, all the hardware on the machine. Very interesting.
Fascinating. I will have to look into that. I wonder how much it costs. My friends and I are all like really into this right now. Like, you know, all the boys are into it, right? Like everyone's using LLMs now, right? But no, like seriously, running them locally. So like my friend just bought a brand new, stupidly expensive AMD GPU, and I don't remember the model number off the top of my head. And he's like, "Can we benchmark it against your 3080 for like local LLM performance?" And I'm like, "Why? Why? You know, I know that yours is going to be better. Why do you want to do this? Do you need me to feel good about your purchase? Like, I don't understand." But I do like the idea of having just like a box, because I think that edge LLM applications are going to be really interesting in the future. That's something that I like about the Pixel, actually, is the 10 has the customized tensor cores that allow Gemini to run locally on the machine and give you faster answers, which is cool. Do you have a link to this magic box, Simon?
Sorry?
Do you have a link to this magic box? Unified memory. That's what Forgive God said it's called. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a marketing term.
Yeah.
Unified memory. You access the memory in the same system.
I think that is AMD's official marketing term for it, though, because they've been working on this for a while. Like back in like the 3080 era, they were talking about how their GPUs and stuff are going to have like so much better performance than NVIDIA's, because they could share the memory with the CPU. Turned out to be roughly the same or a little bit less, but like still, it's been a thing that they've been talking about.
I'm having some problems here with the StreamYard. Give me a second, I'll be right back.
So I have a Linux in a mini box. That's what I do most of my work on, and it does not have a graphics card at all. And that was like part of the deal of how cheap it is. And so adding that kind of GPU thing to it, looking at it now, it's going to cost more than what the original whole entire machine cost from the get-go, which is frightening. So
yep. Also, I will say, if you're running a Linux box, you probably already know this. You really want to look at an AMD graphics card. AMD plays way better on the Linux side than NVIDIA does.
I have a list. I think that AMD is the top one on there.
So are you looking at running LLMs locally, or you just want to game on your box?
Actually, neither. Linux, and with Wayland especially, struggles with the multi-monitor support. And so having a graphics card in there actually facilitates that a lot better. Soon, Linux or Ubuntu specifically will be going exclusively Wayland, so there'll be a lot fewer options for doing that. It's not impossible, but there's noticeable issues. So, yeah.
You're the second person I've talked to in less than 24 hours that's been talking about using Wayland and having issues with it. I was on the call with another friend last night, and he was trying to share his screen to show me some stuff he was working on because he was trying to struggle with it. And like Discord would not share that screen, no matter how hard he tried. He had to end up booting into Windows to make this work. So
I have, mine will share. I can share just fine. I've never tried sharing on Discord specifically, but we'll say just like a regular Google Meet. I can share a tab and I can share a window, but if I go into full screen share, it'll do it and then it'll seize up and just make things. I still see everything, but the share screen goes black. Can't handle it. So that's another thing, but I'm not using Wayland right now. I'm still using the X one. Pardon my brain, not remembering exactly what it's called.
GNOME?
No. Oh no, it's called
KDE?
No. X11.
Oh,
well, X11 is standard.
Yeah, X11's the underlying standard for the windowing environment.
And it's going away. They're getting rid of it. Soon. So
that part I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I could always not upgrade, but when is that?
Yeah.
X11 has been around for decades.
Yeah.
And it is super powerful and expressive, but it just doesn't, not for the modern workloads anymore. It just doesn't fit anymore.
Man, I remember when I was in college the first time having late nights trying to recompile Linux kernels and X11 giving me fits. That's my college experience, guys. That's my crazy college years right there. Linux kernels.
First time, did you go to college more than once?
Twice. First time was community college, and that's where I got all the computer stuff. Second time, I got a business degree. Like my bachelor's is in business, of all things. Totally using that. Sure glad I got a business degree.
Freshman year in college was 1995 when JavaScript was born. So there was no what we think of a lot of software engineering and development. It just didn't exist. It was a lot of very lower level code. I made it work. Yeah, it was great. I love to tell the kids, you guys got your colored brackets on your IDEs back in my day.
Syntax highlighting. I remember coding without syntax highlighting.
Oh yeah.
Remember
the year that I wrote the word processor, I was missing one bracket, and it was like a final project, and I could not find it for the life of me. I printed out all my code, literally printed it out. I got a highlighter and was doing it. I still couldn't find it, and ended up sending it to a friend of mine, actually, who still works at Microsoft. We'll speak about her later. Maybe you know her. She's been there for 30 years now. But I sent it to her, and she managed to find my one singular missing bracket and saved my whole final project.
You know what you could have done? Written yourself a little bit of code that just goes through every file, comparing the matching brackets or not.
Yeah.
It is really crazy that because my bachelor's degree is the thing that gets me across the threshold when interviewing for jobs, but it's really just my community college degree that has the skills that they actually want. Like, it's insane. And like, the crazy thing is, like, I'm completely self-taught from there. Like, none of the stuff that I learned in that community college is anything that is remotely relevant to what I do today. I learned COBOL, guys. I learned how to code in COBOL. That was my second programming language, was COBOL. And then they made us do RPG, and then they made us do Fortran. And like COBOL, like I learned a lot about the fundamentals of how computers work that way. I'm not saying it was a waste. I'm just saying it's completely irrelevant to what I do today, you know? So
I think I should caveat that, right? In terms of, I think understanding the different abstraction levels on a computer, like in the software stack and everything else, is super important to understanding. Like when you're writing code on top, what's going on underneath, right? And that helps you make the right decisions. Rather than just like writing something on top and being like, I don't know, but this seems to work better. It's like, you know, understanding what's going on there. I think there's definitely power in having that. But I do agree that like learning it from a specific language aspect is wrong. So yeah. COBOL, Haskell, whatever, choose your probably wrong choice there.
They're using. I just saw they're using COBOL in a. I forget who it's for. If it's Indeed or one of the other job search places in their commercial. It's like, I forget what it is now. People working on like an oil well or a fishing boat or something, and they're like, we need a developer.
American Social Security system still uses COBOL. I think that there's an aspect. There is an interesting thing about. I do find it kind of interesting, right? I was talking to someone about this the other day. They said, I don't believe I'm repeating this now. They don't believe we went to the moon. Let's just put it that way. I believe we went to the moon, but we're going to put that to one side. They were like, oh, how can we not just recreate the technology that we had back then now and just fly to the moon again? I'm like, we could. It would be super expensive and very analog. And there's also probably a lot of that tech that's now forgotten about. Like people that worked on it and are dead. You know what I mean? Like they've only got the materials that are written down. Like it's not a problem that's easy to solve. It's not like, oh, just, you know, follow a Lego manual and build yourself a spaceship, right? like it's super complicated. And I said, also we've moved on. Like the way that you would do the controlling system, the way the control system would work, there'll be no backup plan. There'll be no like it was like, sure, okay, you know what I mean? Like it's not the same way we do processing now. But equally, he can understand how you would have like, you know, 64K of memory or whatever it was, and be able to run all this. I'm like, you can do so much with a few bytes of memory. You have no idea. Like you can do so much. I've written like chess games and all sorts like in like 512 bytes on the boot sector. I'm like, you can do so much. And it's that kind of when we write software now, we're talking about it's so wasteful, like many gigabytes, many hundreds of megabytes software is now. I hope a lot of that code is from the assets, but sadly enough, a lot of it's from the code on top. Like it's just at that sort of abstraction level. And when it comes to like something like, say, Lunar Module, whatever it is, the flight controller, whatever it is that's in those. The aspect of that is it's a very tight knit system, right? Like it's got specific inputs, specific outputs. You can severely test that. Every possible, you know, you can fuzz that to the nth degree and go every possible input. What is the possible system conditions, and answer every possible bug in that system and have it sorted out. And that's effectively what they did over many years and many hands, looking at many sheets of paper and debugging it on paper, you know. And you know, when it comes to something today, you can't do that. You just can't do that anymore. Like when it comes to like a modern bit of software, we talk about what we write. What's going on under the hood? What's going on with like we rely on the Flutter SDK. We rely on the Dart, you know, the Dart interpreter and framework and environment and engine and everything else like that. Then that relies on the operating system. That relies on API. Like all of it has to be thoroughly tested. And we know it's not. It's not. There's so much there. There's too much. Like it's even if you can have your code 100% tested, it's not going to be 100% bug free.
Yep. You make a good point though. Like, and that was part of why I liked your talk so much at the last FlutterCon. It's like I think, you know, it's I don't want to say
someone remembers it because I don't.
I don't want to say it's easy, but I think a lot of people understand like the general Flutter API, like how do I create a widget, put it on the screen, that type of thing. But then going a layer deeper, which is like, how does Flutter put a widget on the screen, and how do you do that? And then going a layer deeper, and it's like, I think you're right, Simon. And I think in a world of LLMs that are very good at writing at that top layer, like I think those of us who are willing to go deeper are at an advantage. But anyway, that's like a whole side conversation. But let me ask you about your friend Simon. Does he also believe the world is flat?
I don't know if he trolls me or if he actually believes it. That's the scary thing. So we'll leave it there. I'm not even going to warrant it with a discussion. It's not worth it.
Is your friend Kim Kardashian? Because
oh, you know Kimmy too. No. Anyway, sure. So someone mentioned that we could do a bit on the Journal Club app, and I don't mind doing that. We also have a couple of questions or two that have come in. So,
I do have to go. It is my hour is up, so I got to jump. But it was great being here. Love seeing all of you.
Thanks, Kaylee.
Kaylee, it was so good to see you.
See you soon. Bye.
See you. Yeah. So this is just regarding the Flutter versions again. Yeah. If you find something like this, raise an issue ticket in the repo. Say, I really needed the historical information about what versions of iOS were supporting what versions of Flutter, and I can't find it anywhere. And if it's not there, it should be clearly updated and signposted, and push it back to them. But yeah, raise an issue ticket in the repo for sure. Label it with docs. There's a docs tag that you can point for documentation. Let's bring up this question here.
Yeah, Solomon. I've built a Flutter app and managed to link it to M-Pesa. Was now trying to do bank payment method. Any suggestions or recommendations for this next step that they're heading towards?
I don't know what M-Pesa is.
Either, yeah.
Let's go look that one up. Is that bank?
It looks like it's maybe an online shopping in Africa.
Development of. Oh, okay. So it's like an Indian bank. Is that what I'm getting at here? Sorry.
It's
M for mobile.
Pesa,
Oh, yeah.
Kenya,
Okay.
Tanzania, South Africa. Sorry, I'm just like.
It's like Cash App or Venmo. I think it's a money transfer service.
I mean, whenever it comes to processing any sort of money, right? You're dealing with someone. You always need to deal not just with the happy path, but with every possible bad way something can happen, and have a condition that can deal with it. Even if that condition is fall back to, okay, log this, manually get someone involved, right? Like you need to make sure that someone did not put some money in something and the money got lost and they didn't get their goods or their service that they were paying for, right? That is like fundamentally, that means your system is broken, right?
Yep.
So what I'd say is you need to be thinking about very particular about timing of things, and what happens if you don't get. I'm assuming you're communicating with another app in some way. What happens if you don't get a response? What happens if you get a response later? Do you cancel it because it's too late for your app to process it? Blah blah blah. Like you need to kind of like think through all the possible combinations, and it is tough, but it's really important, especially with money, that you deal with those situations where it can go wrong.
So I work in finance, so I'm going to give you a less technical answer, but things that you need to be aware of. And let me also clarify, I work in finance in the United States. So like based upon where M-Pesa is based, I think you're probably in South Africa. I know it's popular there. I recognized it once I Googled it. So your laws are obviously going to be different than my laws. So things you need to be thinking about. Number one, security. Like get the security right on your app, get your authentication right. And the big thing is because, and again, don't know your laws, don't know your stuff. But here, if your security is messed up, you can be held liable for any fraud or anything that happens. So that's a big risk. Make sure that you're on the hook. And if you're not sure what you're doing with your security, bring in someone who does, or keep studying till you do know what you're doing with your security. So that's the big thing. Security, security, security. The second thing that I would say that you need to think about, Kenya. Okay, Kenya. Got it. So the other thing that I would say you need to worry about in its related security, we have something in the United States called, I think it's called PCI compliance. So it is a set
Same
of
in Europe.
regulations. Okay, yeah. It is a set of regulations that if you're doing anything with like payments or transfers or things like that, it is a set of guidelines that you have to follow. So, and again, I don't think that you necessarily have to work with this because you're dealing with M-Pesa, who I think probably abstracts some of this from you. But like if by chance you're doing anything that like stores a credit card number, there's like a whole set of compliance standards that you have to follow to do that. And so I would say familiarize yourself with those and be aware of what applies to you and what doesn't. Do your due diligence.
I'm just going to, just on top of that, this is a payment method, right? So I'm hoping that my opinion was, what I stated was based on that you're using a third party and they're doing all of this, right?
Yeah.
You need to, if you should not store anything apart from like the token of the payment that is short-lived, that is what you get to verify the payment was made. That is it. You should not be storing any personal information. You can limit that. Any no zero card or payment information at all should never go through your system or be stored by your system. You cannot be held liable then for anything that goes wrong. It's that simple.
And whatever you do need, the moment you're done with it, dump it. Like manually make sure that it is dumped. Get rid of it. Like erase it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds quite like, you know, I mean, they will have guidelines on how they use how to integrate with their product, and they'll have expectations of you. Read through the documentation, make sure it's done to their standard. But yeah, always hold yourself, whenever you do any sort of integration with third party, always hold yourself to a higher standard, for sure, right? Like the buck stops at you for developing your app, not them. So.
Yeah, it's not just you potentially being accountable for any fraud. It is also like if someone gets defrauded using your app, even if it's not your fault, you know, make sure you've done your due diligence to try to prevent that from happening, because
it's about your customers as well, right? At the end of the day, it's about the people that work using your app. You want to make sure that they're having a nice time of it, you know, a nice time using the product, and they're not getting ripped off, or they're not getting you know, defrauded of money.
They feel secure and everything's being done correctly. Yeah.
So I think we're going to do some live coding.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So we were working on Journal Club before, and I think we could continue working on that.
Sounds good. I'm here for about 15 minutes or so more.
Matthew, when you have to finish?
I'm good till 2, so I've got like 50 minutes.
Okay, so we'll go until that time or earlier if it all kind of tutors out. Right, let me share my screen here, get some content going. So I did a design with some AI. Oh my gosh. And it was.
Is this from the Sketch, Google Sketch, or?
Yeah.
Got it.
It's called Stitch.
Stitch. Yeah.
Stitch. That's the word I was looking for.
Sketch, same difference.
Close enough.
So So if anyone doesn't know, I've been working on like a little side project, which is this there's a website called Journal Club, and they don't have an app. And I want an app to use their web. I don't want to use their website. I want to use an app. So I thought I'd make one. It's that simple. So I've done this login journey. I'm hoping it's compiling right now. And we'll get that running in a second. Basically they do, in short, I keep repeating myself on this one, but you can go look them up. But they explain scientific papers and concepts in plain English would be the best way of me explaining it. Here we go. Sign up. The nice little animation on here. Hey, Robert. You can always, jump into the chat, Robert. Come join us if you like.
So Simon, clarifying, you had the AI generate the images, and then
So I've been matching the designs.
Got it. So you've been building the code, you've been writing everything to match the designs.
Yeah.
Got it.
1 second.
Robert says he's in the only chat that matters.
1 second, chaps.
Sorry, I didn't mean to tune out there. I was responding to someone in chat.
All right.
Because it's the only chat that matters. Like this doesn't matter. But we can create an animated dancing dash that just dances on the screen, and we all just go into chat, and that's the party.
There you go.
The most important bit, yeah.
Yeah, we could have our own. Remember way back when they did the for one of the conferences to generate your own image, your own dash image. We could do that and just have them be talking heads for each of us.
Oh my god, I love that.
Let's all right. Well, anyway, so where was I? So we started doing. So this is how I want the home screen to look. We have a bottom nav, and there's a card for each of these articles that's written. And you
want to start with creating the cards so that they look like the cards, or you want to start with the?
We went into the page here, and I think we started fiddling around with this before. That's obviously overlapping at the top there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me just finish this off. I think it's worth it because I think for I don't remember where we got to before. This is obviously half working. The episode screen. So I think maybe work on this briefly and get this where it needs to be. Oh, there you go. And then we can work on the main list, I think, unless anyone wants to choose something. But I kind of like the idea of finishing this off. So this is the article screen.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What are you using for routing on this?
Don't even remember. It's probably Go Router. Should we have a look?
Go Router.
Go Router. Yeah, I was right.
Go Router. Got it. Okay.
So let's go back to now. So cool. All right. So see if I can get some of this on the screen all at once, so we can kind of have some visuals. So this is not much room. We'll make things smaller. Why not? Hopefully, people get the idea. Hopefully, right. There we go. That'll.
I will be right back, guys. I'm not leaving. I just need to step away for like 30 seconds.
All right. I'm start counting. Don't worry. Okay. So let's sort out this. Sort this out. Mm-hmm. So we've got a.
So we need some safe area.
Yeah. So I think I was doing this pinned header before, right? Yeah.
Oh, with the sliver, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of.
But it's not pinning.
It's not doing what I wanted it to do. I think at the time, and that. I think that's where we sort of added it before. I'm trying to remember where we actually got to be honest. So we've got our sliver to box adapter. Okay, this is good. This has just got our title in at the moment. I think this was just to kind of, yeah, I think the presence of this was around the fact that we wanted to do the date and some other information. Don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure if all these fields are filled out on the episode. So what is going on with this? Okay, apparently that is interesting, is what that is.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you upgrade an IDE and have some custom stuff going on in your IDE. So that's interesting. Oh well. Do I care that much right now? Probably not. Let's.
Well, you could do author name and then just do, like a double question mark blank or something if you wanted, or your text. That way, if it does have it, you get it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like just leave it for that for the moment. I'm kind of interested in. So the content of the body is coming through okay. It's all formatted, which is good. I think there's the notion of having the audio player at the bottom and the video if it's there, and then the tags. So I think if we get those in there, we should be good. So let's do that. So our sliver to box adapter at the top here is covering the portion of the screen. If I can highlight it. There we go. So this top portion is the sliver to box adapter. Let's get our. I don't know why our pinned header isn't done without padding correctly. So I think I'm gonna. I have no idea what's going on there. That's good. Probably just the back. I don't want to waste the stream time just like figuring out why the background color is transparent when it shouldn't be, but that'll do. Okay, that's we just want the top padding. There we go. Okay, apparently that doesn't work. Okay, that's better. Let's leave it on for now. Get to see the edges of things. Right. Tags. Now we actually have the tags on the home screen, right? So how do we do that? I don't remember. Oh, chips. There we are, right there. Just do a wrap with some chips in. Since we are going to be reusing this, let's make a reusable widget and call it category chips. Sure. Is there any questions? Feel free to just dump them in the chat, everyone, or we can talk about what we're doing here or whatever.
No, I was just still responding to Solomon. He had a follow-up question on his thing.
I've got an animation ticker in here. I don't know what template I picked, but all right. Let's paste out wrap in here. And then we want an episode. All right, so we pass it out episode, and then I don't think we actually need this to be stateful. Right. We can make these tappable and take you to a certain page in the future, but I think this will do for now. So we can change this out for the chips with the episode in its place. Cool. And then we'll go to our episode page and pop that in here. So we've got a column with our title followed by our. Well, I wanted that title to be larger. I'm using the theme large, but there is a
headline.
Display is the largest one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what display medium is. Whoa!
Ooh, too big.
Holy smokes!
Are you sure you can see that?
I'm watching on a screen that's smaller than an iPad right now, and I can see it.
That's probably better. That's a pretty long headline.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then.
So after the author, yeah. And you want it to be in the header, yeah.
So I've got these. These are just like predefined widgets or margins, if anyone's questioning that, or paddings. Might as well be constant. Might as well be reusable. I can't come up with nicer names then. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, getting there. I wonder if I can give these a. We have a background color. I think. There's more. Trying to stick to this particular color palette that's similar to
like it's the shade of the font, right? It's like the font, and then
that's what I was thinking. Maybe do like the link color and then take a feed off of that. So we just like with opacity or something. So that, and then I've got text color or something. Sorry, this is this. This is going to be interesting. Ooh, is this going to be like a widget state property?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like I know what I'm looking for, isn't it? That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. That's pretty close. Well, it's getting close.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to work out what is color then for it. Maybe. So let's see, follow it through, see how color's been used. Oh, service tint color. All right. We're going to stick with what we know. This is working. And then we'll change this to be like. Look at that. Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. Right. What was next? Video player. Let's do video player. So if our episode has a video, I guess. So the video, so that's a good point. So the video actually comes in as part of the body data, which will be in here. So what we actually want to do
be the beginning, of the
is wrap this in a sliver, vertical, main axis group. That's the one. So let's just do a decorated box for a second. Actually, we'll use a placeholder. That's placeholder, and we'll put that in an aspect ratio. I'll say, yeah, thank you very much. And then we'll just say if episode, we have like media or something here. Data. If data dot video URL like no. It's just if it's not empty. Okay. Okay, so we have a video. Good. And then let's wrap that in oops. I'll restart.
I like that fancy Journal Club animation you got there. That's slick.
I spent way too long messing around with that.
It doesn't like your group.
That's
because it wants a.
No, but that's interesting. So it's registered, huh?
Is it the widget, the HTML widget? It doesn't like
constrained box. Oh no, it's this here. Sliver.
Yeah, it's expecting a sliver.
Yeah.
Restart. Yeah. That's better. Let's put a little bigger gap here. So these numbers, by the way, if anyone, this is a 4-grid system, and there's various multiples of numbers that are very common to have. It gives you a gradiated spacing, so things line up nicely. If you actually are curious, you can actually on your app enable the grid. So
the grid. One day I got
the
it.
Grid. There you go. There's the grid. Anyone that's not seen it, you can do that, and that helps you. There's also a grid widget that you can use, but it helps you kind of line up widgets and make sure they're all laid out nicely.
Yep.
Right. Do we have
now we need a player?
Yeah. Do we actually have a video player?
Did you already put it in?
Oh, let's add that. Dart add video layer. Done. Okay. Now let's create a. I feel like I want to put. Yeah, we'll put it in the episode. Yeah.
Why are we calling these episodes? Like, I feel like
that's what they call them, episodes, because it's a podcast kind of show, right? Like,
okay.
Yeah, it's called the journal, but then the pages are episodes.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. What was the?
They didn't have the foresight to come up with better naming. It was just kind of on the fly. I'm going to name it this, and then like a month down the road, they're like, "Yeah, that was the wrong choice." But
as we all know,
going back and refactoring is I've been thinking about refactoring stuff in one of my apps, and I don't know if I want to go down that path right now.
Oh God! I've had people be like, "Why did you name it this? This is stupid."
Exactly.
I'm like, because at the time the business requirements said.
Yep. I just followed the doc. Whoever wrote the spec didn't do it right. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. This is definitely going to need to be stateful. I believe there's a poster image, and we could do like a only load it when you hit the play button. You know, the initial play button once it's been initialized.
Oh, just show the poster until you hit play.
Yeah, something like that, maybe. I mean, there is also Chewy. We could just chuck Chewy in there and kind of like.
Yeah.
I kind of want to show people how you do it though. So yeah. So video player is the actual visual widget that actually it displays it. But if you actually go down into the details, what you actually find is it ends up being this. Let's find the implementation of this. Let's do Android. We'll get there in a second, and it ends up being either a texture widget or a video platform view for the video player. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole thing. There's a lot of layers of indirection here to kind of work across multiple things. So this doesn't actually give you any media playback controls whatsoever. I'm trying to remember if it actually. If I know you get the controller, which is the. I'm going to find the docs. I know you have the controller, which is like the technical controller, if that kind of makes sense. The thing that actually controls the video, but I don't think that there's any widgets that do post up polls or anything like that. But it has been a while. Let's go take a look. Closed captions, options, view, video player, progress indicator, displays and buffering status of video controller. Oh, that's interesting.
All right, I'm gonna have to jump. I gotta go prep for a meeting in 30 minutes. So,
well, thank you for coming, John.
Yeah, see you all
nice
again.
To see you as always
next week.
See you next week, sir.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to go as standard to play polls and be really lazy about it.
Feels like something that you could upgrade later.
I mean, this is you don't have to be. I think it's something that people going to first of all. They don't have to be perfect. Your code doesn't have to be perfect the first time. You should be willing to refactor your code. So many people like write code and then they don't want to touch it. Like they don't want to touch it again. I'm like, why? In what possible way would you not?
I'll never forget when we brought someone in new at work. The first thing I said to him is, "None of this is sacred. I throw it out all the time. I expect you to throw it out too. Like it serves its purpose, and then it's supposed to evolve over time."
Okay, what do we have here? Mix with others. Allow background playback. Keep the video playing in the background. App goes in the background.
So is the background like on the Pixel when you like swipe up, it like puts it in that window in the lower right hand corner while you're doing other stuff?
No, well, that's called picture in picture. I don't think that's what this is. It just means it just stays playing, like the audio keeps and the video keeps playing.
Oh, so if it was like a podcast, you could hit play, minimize it, and still hear the audio. Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
Makes it custom headers if we had like a secured network thing like authentication headers. Video format is just like a little a hinting so that it will direct towards a certain way. Source type when it's URL. Source,
I did not realize that the Flutter video player package supported closed captioning. That is very cool. As someone who is hearing impaired, I care about that.
Right. Well, I think the basic stuff sounds good to me. So we're going to have a flag. Let's go to our video player. I'm going to wrap this up in a let's do aspect ratio. I'm not sure if the original does this or not actually inside. I don't know if this bothers. I don't think it does. Yeah, I think
I would expect it to not, because there are multiple video aspect ratios. Like I wouldn't want it to assume it's 16:9 if I've got a 4:3 video.
No, that's the video. No, it's not that. It's the video comes out. Well, I'll show you. It's been a while since I've actually done this. So, well, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So basically, when you have your controller, we'll show a placeholder. And now the thing is, for the moment, let's go back to our where is our screen? Let's use our aspect ratio and placeholder as our placeholder. Then if we have our video, we want to get the current value from our controller. This provides us with quite a few bits of information, one of which is the aspect ratio. So we'll know the aspect ratio of the video, and we can tell
okay.
our video player.
So we're getting the aspect ratio from the video controller.
Yeah. So that would be so now what I want to do is inside our, we'll put an image in here in a minute. We'll get the poster, but I'm not rushing to put the poster in there. What I want to do, however, is in the center here, put an icon button. And that icon button should be a play. Oh, I could show you something really cool with the animated play button. That would be fun. Sorry about the pop-up on it. Was that just joining?
No.
IE is a bit screwed up. Right. So when we play, we want to say so two things. There's a couple of interesting state issues here, right? One is I'm going to create the controller, but I'm not going to initialize it until the first tap of play. So I need to deal with that. That's so that I have the controller down here. I'm going to get rid of it, make it not nullable, to make it late. So we always initialize a controller just to make our life easier. So this becomes a little bit different. So this is if the controller is initialized. Value is initialized. So the logic here is flipped a little bit. So I want to flip this around a bit. Now the actual the controller itself, the video player controller itself is a value notifier, so we can actually listen to the video player value, which would be probably the next best thing to do in here. So we'll return a value listenable builder. And that's the controller that we're going to listen to. And the builder. Oh. Get back to that in a second. Let's bring this up. So now we actually have the player value coming through. We can use that. So once it becomes initialized, it's automatically going to rebuild, right? So this whole idea about having the then set state, we get rid of that.
That's way more elegant. Yeah, I gotcha.
The child param we're not using, so we can just put that as officially as ignored. Okay, so we already have the value come through. So if it's initialized, we get aspect ratio, and then we use that controller for our playback. Obviously, we want to not just do this, but we want to put we'll wrap this in a stack, and then we can on top of this put a that if playing. If it's not playing, then we put a play button. Interesting idea, but that's not what I want. AI is just coming up with some random stuff. If it's not initialized, then this is the first hold. So we'll put this will be a to do replace placeholder with poster image. So we want to make sure that when we press the play, that we don't double initialize. So I'm not sure what our states are of the player. It's been a while. Yeah, there's not like an is initializing. right?
It's just straight up is initialized.
Yeah. So once we create this future, we need to see, is this future completed or not, right? Before we try and initialize it again. So this is a little trick for that, which is we'll make a function called on initial play, right? And once it initializes, then we'll want to play it automatically.
So we're not waiting for user input here. We are wanting the video to autoplay when they go. Okay.
Nope.
That makes sense.
So on initial play is going to be the it's called here. So
I'm with him now.
So now the trick here is doing this. So make it nullable. There's a couple of different ways of doing this, of course, right? But this is just a little trick. So basically the idea here is if you tap on that play button like multiple times and it hasn't finished loading yet, you're not going to get 5 future startup doing 5 initializations.
Because it only does it the first time when it's nullable. And then after that, it's not nullable. So it just automatically, it's like, nope, I already have a future. You can tap all you want, but I'm not giving you another one. That's slick.
Exactly. Yeah. Once it's set, you're not going to unset it. Now, we could do something like, when the controller changes state, we can set it back to null so you can reinitialize it. We're never going to be in that situation with this. I'm not too concerned about that. So, okay, so we've got initial play. And once it's playing, now what we want to do is we want to have like a way of focusing our widget. So we're going to wrap our aspect ratio with a focus widget. And then we can do a wrap this with a builder. So what I'm simply doing here, rather than me providing and managing a focus node, the focus widget, if you don't specify one, we'll build one for you and manage it for you. So the idea I've got here is when you tap on it, I want it to take focus, and when it has focus, it will display the controls. They'll fade in. Once the timeout occurs, then the focus node loses its focus and the controls fade out. That's what I want. So here we're going to get the focus node of the current context. So that returns the actual node itself. We can then do a couple of things on that. We can do a value builder. So when the focus changes, it does something different. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do here. So we'll do a value listenable builder. And no, sorry, we just want a listenable builder.
Listener. Yeah.
So funny enough, guess what's a listenable? A focus. So we can just chuck this node straight in here, and when the focus of that node changes, it's going to rebuild the builder. So now we know we can now say
if the node has the focus, then we
I don't know why it's doing
button.
this. So this is AI, but yeah, we're basically saying that we'll return an animated opacity. Constant duration. Let's do a slow fade. Just a second. And then the opacity based on the focus. If it has focus, it's 1. If it's 0, it doesn't have it. And then the child of this. This is what's interesting now. We're going to do an animated icon for those who have never used an animated icon. This is how you use it. So,
I am amongst those people. So tell me about animated icons. What is this actually doing? So it looks like you're using like a standard. Oh, no, never mind. Is there like a built-in animated icons library?
Yeah.
Dope.
I can't remember which way around it is. There's a play to pause, pause to play, and then basically it's 1 or 0. But what's this complaining about? Oh, what's an animation? Crikey, that's annoying. You mean there's not a? I feel like there's a. There's an animated builder, isn't there? Yeah. So I should be able to wrap this with an animated builder. Will that give us what I want? Well, we're going to find out. Twin animation builder. So I'm trying to remember which. Duration, and then the builder gets a value, which is the object that you're tweening. No, that's not what I want either. Oh well. So I'm just going to see if there's a way I can do this without actually manage my own animation controller, but apparently there isn't. So we're going to go back to. I feel like I might make a separate play pause widget. It's a bit unwieldy. Play pause button, right? And I can take a video controller, and then we'll make this stateful, and with single ticket provider state mixin. No. Yes. And inside here, we'll set up our init state to create a controller. And when it's disposal, we'll clean up that controller, and now we'll just wrap our play pause button in that. And then effectively what we want to do is listen to the controller, and when its play pause state changes, we want the icon to change. So we'll do that in here. Add listener on the video changed. Thank you very much, AI. And this can be controller now. Okay, so what this is doing, it's going to create a controller. We could change this to a longer time period, I guess. It will animate over 500 milliseconds. The animate icon from going between play and pause states when the video player state changes, going backwards and forwards, basically. That's what I see here. Oh, we need the initial value always in here. So that'll be in there like that. So this is when we first create it. There's obviously no state change, so we need the icon to be in the right initial state. All right, so now we've got a play pause button. Go back up here and just dump that in with our controller. Right. So initial play. You have to see which state that's in. We might have to flip this around from play pause to pause play. And fade is based on, okay, so there's a slight bug here. Well, you can tap on the video player and there'll be a hidden icon in the middle that'll play pause, right? In effect, it's not such a bad thing, but equally that's not what we're trying to do here, right? So
right.
What we want to do is when it's not visible, that the play pause button has no effect, right? So what we do there is we wrap this with a ignore pointer, and it ignores
if it doesn't have focus.
If it does not have focus. Okay. What else? Let's restart and see what we get. Everyone find this interesting?
No, this is really good. I had never messed around with like the animated icons before, so I'm excited to see this.
Okay, so it's here. It's the same thing. Remember at the moment,
Right.
so we can check that by obviously changing our placeholder color to something different. Just he says, and then realizing that he didn't put in the player. There we go. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Good. Initial play button is there. I think our initial play button needs to be bigger. Let's set our icon sizes. For the other. Let's do that. And then that also probably means that there's an icon size needed on this. I think I can do it. Yeah. All right. Hit play. What happened? Dun, dun, dun. Unable to establish connection. So this was a near error. Do you know what we did wrong? I added video player, but do you know what I did wrong?
Are you missing a dependency package for like Windows?
Nope. I didn't restart the app completely from scratch. So what happened was I added the native code for the video player plugin has not been included in the app that was installed on the phone because I didn't start the app on fresh. So I've done hot reload expecting it to be there, and it's not there, obviously. So take 2 seconds. It's basically a missing plugin because the native code for the plugin isn't there, right?
Right. You have to do a fresh build.
Should probably have some error feedback, but listen, I mean, like as we were saying before with the Luna idea, the Luna rocket stuff, there's a certain point where you get diminishing returns. Like there's no point me putting that error feedback on that because I'm not expecting there to be that error, right?
Right.
However, if initialization was to fail, I'm expecting there to be a failure come through in the value, and then we should probably handle the displaying of that or monitoring of that.
There
All right.
we go.
We do have another source error. Maybe the URL is bad. Maybe I'm missing. I have no idea. Playback error. It says, oops.
This is a heads up. I've got about 5 more minutes before I have to hop off.
The video player had basically a native platform error. I think it's probably because the URL I'm handling it could be crap at the moment. Or maybe I need to give it some headers. I haven't even tried it. So
also I've had some weirdness trying to get video players to run on the Android emulator.
This is a real device.
Oh, never mind. Disregard.
But yes, I do appreciate that. Yeah, you shouldn't really do any video stuff on an emulator because it needs hardware decoding for any sort of video to get performance. It's the same on any system. Well, certainly better. Not ideal. You said we got 5 minutes, right? I don't want to be bogged down into debugging this further right now because I believe this will work just fine once maybe the right auth headers are set and everything else. And I'm not sort of go fiddling around with that right now. What we could do though is see in the original designs we have this video player, we have this audio player as well. And I kind of had this notion that maybe when you're playing the audio of an episode, and then you leave the episode, it stays at the bottom of the screen on the app and like pushes everything up, which I thought might be quite fun to do. So maybe that's
So you
something
can browse around the rest of the app and still have your episode playing.
Yeah,
for sure.
and then maybe when you tap on the heading here, it takes you back to the episode content. You can continue reading it, or if you're on a new episode and you hit the play button, it just takes its place basically. Haven't quite figured that through yet, but the notion of just having like a persistent player sounds kind of interesting. So I think this title box is not even being used anymore, is it? No, that's old. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, it's definitely to pour some of these things out into widgets. It's all just like hack it together right now. Let's just see what happens if we go. So we've got I wonder if we could do like I mean, obviously I can just wrap a stack around like the content, right? So if we can go to a stack, for example, and wrap this with a positioned dot fill, right? We should look no different, correct? And then above that with a positioned widget, we can say left of 0, right of 0. This is like the inset from the edge. So bottom of 0. And we just do whatever the AI says there. And there you go. Home and search pops up at the bottom. Obviously, we don't want that, but
right.
We can do a material. We can do our audio player widget, right, and place that there. So we had something like persisted audio player. And obviously this on the just on the episode page at the moment because we're just editing here, but we could probably start thinking about, okay, what do we want to do in terms of bringing bring the upper layer. There's obviously a level of signals that we want to do here, so that there's a signal that indicates that the audio player is going. So when you play a video, it pauses the audio player, stuff like that. Maybe when you stop video playback, it starts the audio playback up again. We could choose. But yeah, let's just briefly just put something quickly in here, and then we'll call it a day, I think.
Cool.
I was like, you want an icon. It wouldn't be an icon button. It would be a normal button. Oops. It's an elevate button. No, elevate button dot icon, isn't it? Yeah. Oh. You have to have a label.
There we go.
Sorry?
No, I just said there we go. That makes sense. But it's weird that it's requiring a label. Is that like a semantic thing?
I have no idea. But again, like I'm not trying to fight the framework here, so I think we'll probably end up simply change this out for something else. Then we can do there's a I don't like the the whole. Let's just do this and do child. Let's see how we go there. Oh, that's interesting.
Why is the triangle in the play button? Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, actually, did all padding 4 or something. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I mean, it could go up a bit actually. It all depends on the size of the icon. I mean, I'm just playing around with the size being the default size, but we probably want it to be slightly bigger. Ooh,
Yeah.
Is it not centered? I feel like I must be like. That's so weird.
I think it probably has to do with the padding.
No, it's again, we start fighting like the material button stuff, right? Like this is like now we're probably on the something to do with like the minimum size or the visual density or some other stupid thing.
Logical.
We'll leave it as that for the moment. I think we're down to 8. All right, so we got a play, and then do a horizontal margin of 8. Sorry, everyone, for that messed up IDE. Those are just joining us, and then we'll do a quickly do a layout for the right side, and as an example, and then we can. What did the AI generate?
So this is about where I have to hop off.
All right, that's not a problem.
So good seeing you again, Simon.
Yeah,
I will hopefully see you around next week, and I can't wait to see the next iteration of the journal app and where we get to. So,
yeah, we should do some more on it for sure.
Sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye, everyone.
Catch you later.
See you next time. Bye.
Yeah, she links to the original episode. Probably need to fix that. Actually, let's fix that now. Is it? Sorry, everyone, just bear with me. We build it up ourselves, so we should actually put in the original episode. Oh, we'll get it from a slug. All right, maybe not. Let's do what we could do. It's cat. I was talking about caching as well. All right, won't change that just for a minute. How's everyone doing? Yeah, I want to do something else with it. Is why I didn't use that. So who wants me to continue on here for a little bit and do some more to this? So I would hope we didn't have any issues. We'll leave that off now. If no one's going to speak, then we'll be ending the episode very soon. That's really weird, right? We need to look at the fields again and see where we're at. Why am I not getting the full? Oh, it's called. No time. Well, that's interesting. Oh. That's better. Right, and definitely want something to split the two portions of the UI there. Not very clear at all. It's like a Let's get over in somewhere. Hang on. That's a foreground color. Oh, it doesn't have a surface, does it? What am I talking about? I'm an idiot. Feels like we're back there with an off center button. That's the problem. This needs to be wrapped in a music height. Get rid of that. That's better. Which is probably that problem all along, and just made it more difficult. But this does the job, I guess. Right. Shouldn't need to worry about that now. Cool. Where were we? To text. And then you can do labels, can't you? Well, there's a few different ways we can do this. None of which I want to do, to be honest. Why is the rendering of that fine? A minute ago it wasn't. You can also do a custom slider, which can also work. We have a theme. What is going on with this? Okay. Right. Let's put the value at somewhere. Ugh. We can update the slider, the main slider theme, in a minute. We're just going to use this as like a test ground. It's not active. Active track, that's what we're looking for. That's better. Now where's our thumb color? Much better. Like a track height smaller. Right, now what have we got going on here with padding? Sweet. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to do vertical. Right, and then still here liking it. Good. instead of applying the theme once like this, the style once like this, we can take it out here. Just put the 2 individual bits of text in. And around our row, we can override the default text style. Or merge it in with existing parameters for default text style, just to, so we don't have to override all of them. And this will make them both the same style, actually. Let's change this to padding 12, padding 4. Nice, and then we'll add a the fact of the matter is this does overlap the bottom where we've got any sort of controls. So the padding of 12 here is to also include the padding from the screen. So let's go look at what that looks like under the hood. So that's the all padding 12 plus that. So we actually want to do left horizontal padding 12. There we go. And then the top. All right, so let's look what that looks like without our. All right, that's looking like a nice player, isn't it? Ooh, our touch goes out the side. We don't want that. So we do that on our button. We got custom shape. Well, on a, it'll be in the style probably. There we go, style. Give it the same shape. This will guarantee that the touch feedback, it says, let's go dig through and see why it's not been applied. Sorry for the there we go. Build, blah 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 blah. Ink response. Really? Highlight shape. That's not the one. I mean, I can add a clip on there. Just trying to avoid clips where required. It's just annoying. That's interesting. So you'll find that Inkwell has a custom shape to provide a restriction to the shape of the splash. We have a highlight shape here, but the highlight is like is the effect that happens afterwards. Contained Inkwell. Oh, there you go, where it should be clipped to its bounds. But let's go see. No, there's no parameter override for that. So we're just stuck with clipping on this by the looks of it. So we'll go up to our parent material and just add a clip to it. Not the end of the world, but why not icon button filled? From what I could tell, there was no fill in the icon button. So color is the foreground color, splash color, and when I applied the background color to the style, because this style is just a button style, which applies to a lot of things, nothing was being applied. So I don't believe the icon button actually has a material. It just does what we just looked at there was the ink response. So, I mean, let's have a look. Let's go back up and have a look, right? So we've got semantics. Inside of semantics might be a tooltip. Inside that tooltip is an ink response that's already other constructor. Didn't even know there was a field constructor. There you go. Let's have a look. Why not? So I'm guessing that does something different. Let's have a look. Oh, look, filled. Ah, variant filled. I think I've ever used it before. So the question is, will that just use the default? Let's find out. And we clip appropriately. I mean, how do I apply this color? Because this is the foreground color, right? Yes. You would think we use the background color from the icons, the button style. Focus color, highlight color, selected icon. I mean, what I had worked. Field tonal outlined. I mean, this could be that I've done something in the theme, mind you, but I can't see how my override wouldn't be applied, no matter what way you look at it. Maybe it's because I haven't got it applied in the theme. I'll go back to how well it was, to be honest. It worked. And it'll just do the same thing. So there you go. All right. So we have a player now. Looking good. All right. So let's see, what time is it? All right, we'll go for another couple of minutes only. I kind of want to know what's going on with this player, to be honest. Let's see what we can do here. Let's extract the audio player out. We'll call the other one episode. Because we're using variable fonts. So if you look in my manifest here, I'm using a single variable weight font for each of these. So use the variable weight. What's it called? Font. I can't remember what it's called now. Anyway. Variation. What's it called now? Episode. Where was it? Yeah, font variation. Yeah. So that's how you supply how it looks up inside the font table. What special things to apply? In this case, it uses the weight table to apply the extra weights. Same as, if you have any of the other options. Right. Where was I? I was going to get the video player working, wasn't I? Yes. So I'm just extracting these out into separate things. Like they're going to become larger components. So you're going to have multiple things, larger components. Let's restart the app and breakpoint here. And yeah, let's do that and see what happens when okay. Bear with me, everyone. Sorry. Okay, interesting. Give me 1 second. That works too as well. It's not a cookie problem. It's not a networking problem. What is it then? Maybe we're not getting the right MIME type come back. I need to hint it. Should probably be the case. Unless is it query string encoded or something weird like that? Sorry, everyone. Oh, there's a post there as well. It is a frame. Okay. That makes a whole different thing. We can do it. It's just kind of annoying. Let me think about this. We could do. It would have to be some magic. All right. So we got two options here, right? So let me explain it, and then we're going to call it a day because we're running over now. So so the URL that's been returned back, which was called video URL, is actually for an iframe for a web view, right? It contains its own play button and everything else, which is fine. You can do all that, and there's an aspect to that which is great. However, it means that we can't easily control the playback. So if we want to say play the audio and pause the video player or something like that, we can't do that. Not without doing some weird injection JavaScripty thing that may not work because we don't host the site, blah, blah, blah. So one option is we just say, sorry, can't do that. And we just chuck in the web view for the video player and put the URL in there and off we go. The other one is the actual web view itself is loading the video. So if we were to go to that URL, fetch it, and then extract the video URL from that page and put that in here in its place, that would work. But we'd have to do it at the point of request. So when we do this initialization, when we choose to actually initialize, then that's when we need to do that, which basically now means that this goes into a form where controller is not going to be initialized early. Our weird, well, this kind of initial play still happens, but it has to happen before our controller is initialized. So we have to have our own sort of flag. Rather than having controller be nullable, we could do something like a boolean saying is video URL fetched, right? That's set to false initially, so we'll say if it's fetched, then we're doing this. Now, else we're going to return this thing. Now, the idea of displaying this before it's initialized, well, we can say that this only comes back once it's been initialized. So we can double up on this and just say, let's just assume that it's initialized right now, which is fine. Okay, so now kind of also can extract out the poster URL. It's private for the moment, put it that way, for the minute. So get what you can right now. It won't always be that way, but it is for the moment. Right. Yeah. Sorry, bear with me a second. Right, so I think it's late. Yeah, so we're gonna start up. When we will show because our boolean set to false, we're going to show this play button. You hit the play button, we create a feature if we can. Since this has now become kind of defunct, we're going to inline that because the actual work is done in the setup video player function itself. Then when we set up the video player, this is actually where we actually need to fetch this URL. And I'm going to do this cheap and nasty right now. We're going to create a client. And fetch it. This is a bit naff, but I'll get there. Yeah, so we need to pass the response. We'll close the client. So now we have the HTML body of the page. Well, I want to fetch from that URL. If we pass the URL, there is actually the thumbnail URL in there. Bear with me. It's called poster. So if we pass this URL, and say post URL is no URL dot then it's always there. We'll replace this with URL website URL whatever. Okay, and then in our response, there is a stream widget with the source in it. Sorry, just bear with you guys. Interesting. Sorry, there was doing something magical here. And this is going to take more than I can do right now, I'm afraid. I'm just looking at how they're doing it. It's requiring some finagling. So HTML to extract. In the meantime, actually, we can do this in our init. Why not? Yeah. Store the past URL. Right, and by just doing that, what we can do now is take the post URL and actually use it down here on an image network, for example. I'm going to wrap this in a stack. without alignment set to center. This way our play button stays center aligned with the image. The image which itself is going to denote the size. Should we see how that looks, see if it actually gets any further, and then we'll call it there, I think. See what happens. See if we get our thumbnails. Yay. Let's get on that on a no, I don't mind. Yeah, I like that. Let's put the car. I guess you can have it when you click anywhere, which kind of denotes this use of icon button anyway. I suppose if you do this as a wrap this with a positioned .fill, use a, I don't really care. Yeah, let's wrap this in a inkwell. Yeah, in fact, I want to do it this way. We want to do two materials and two. Yeah, okay. So wrap this with a material. Let's see what this is about in a second. We're going to do our type as transparency. That with an inkwell. That's going to provide our on-tap function as we get rid of this icon button stuff. I'm just going to replace this with an icon. Right, we don't need to clip anymore. All right, and enter that. Okay, we need some padding around that. Yeah. So here we are a bit late. Yeah, we're running a bit late as well. So now I can tap anywhere on the video and get the touch feedback. Obviously tries to play the video because I've got it still established in there, but let's just disable that at the moment. Yes, wait. Stop. It keeps popping up. I have to restart the app. So again, let's put what to do here. So now, I mean, I'm forcing the 16:9 aspect ratio, which strictly speaking isn't needed anymore. The image should supply its own aspect now. So yeah, it does, however, mean, do you see what just happened when it was loading? You can kind of get things jump around on the screen. There's not much you can do about that unless you hard code it, right? That's interesting, actually. Oh, because the initial spinner is for the entire content. But yeah, you still get like a jump around potentially for a fucking frame or two whilst it loads. But I think we're pretty good here. I mean, actually, it's looking pretty cool now, isn't it? Like, there's actually just that change to all these things actually has made a huge difference. That header is really annoying me. Let's make another change to that, and then we'll call it. Keep saying that. How I do the pin header is that it scrolls off the screen and comes back in when you resize, I thought. Let's have a quick look. Keep switch at the top of the custom scroll view. It's not what I want. Animates the header in and out of the view in response to a downward or upward scroll. So maybe it's a floating header that I want. That's better. Yeah. I almost feel like I want to put a I want a color behind on this view. I want a shading behind the status bar. So we'll do a annotated region system UI overlay style, and let's app theme can export that just so I don't have to use it elsewhere. And we have fully transparent ones. Let's do let's call it 50. Sure. Let's see how it looks. So we have transparent, nice. And then go in, we scroll. There we go. There's a shading behind it. Ah, that's interesting. I want the light. I want the light one with 50. Not the dark one. So we want light. There we go. Scroll. Good. Whatever floating header has. Oh, it does. It has snap mode. Animation style snap mode. Snap mode. Overlay scroll. At the end of a user scroll gesture. We'll expand over the scrollable content at the end. Rest of the time will expand over the scroll. Content will continue to scroll out of the way. The default is overlay. All right, let's see what scroll does. It's also animation style. Snap mode. Oh, I like that more. So it's moving with the scroll. It was a bit nicer than the instant snap in. And animation style. Oh. So you can supply curve and duration, and reverse curve and duration. That's pretty cool. So you can have it bouncing or do something else if you wanted to. Not that we want that, but I kind of do think that when you're in the article episode, that title at the top is fine not to have repeated, but once you scroll and the title's off the screen, it feels like the title should be in the top bar. I suppose you have it in the player. It's not really the same thing though, I guess. We'll give them some. Right, I think we'll end it there. Thank you everyone for joining. And yeah, come back next week for another show. Maybe we'll do some, if people want, we'll do some more live coding on the Journal Club app and we'll get some more of this finished because I never spend any time on it otherwise. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye.